Although Hanukkah is the most well-known Jewish holiday, it's not a particularly important religious holiday. And it's definitely not the Jewish version of Christmas. Rather, the most important religious holidays in Judaism are the high holy days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Then there are the major festivals commanded by the Torah, namely Passover and Shavuot in the spring and Sukkot in the fall. And there are other holidays of religious experience, including Simchat Torah, marking the end and the start of the annual cycle of public Torah readings, and Tisha B'Av, lamenting a number of disasters in Jewish history, including the destruction of both the first and second temples in Jerusalem. By contrast, Hanukkah is a minor Jewish holiday. The basic details of the observance, such as whether to light one more candle each night or one less candle, are not in the Bible, but were hashed out over the centuries by the rabbis. Other traditions, from setting up the menorah to eating the jelly donuts known as sufganiot, are often a matter of local custom. The only writings that refer to Hanukkah are not, in fact, officially part of the Hebrew Bible, and that's only at the end of the story of the uprising led by the Maccabees against the Greek Empire that had desecrated the temple in order to suppress Jewish observances. The name Hanukkah means rededication, which is what the Maccabees had to do to restore the temple according to Jewish law, and it was to be an annual celebration of the Maccabean rebellion. The fact that Hanukkah now is largely about the miracle of a one-day supply of lamp oil lasting for 8 days is thanks to those rabbis who wanted, in the words of my colleague, the Reverend Elizabeth Mount, to turn this from a celebration of military dominance into a reaffirmation of the work of faith to create peace and restore sacred understanding after any bloodshed. That holds particular significance this year, of course, given the ongoing war between Hamas and Israel that began with more than 10,000 killed and injured Israelis and has continued with more than 65,000 killed and injured Palestinians. It has also resulted here in the United States in a rise in Islamophobia and particularly anti-Semitism, with peace in the Middle East seeming as unlikely as ever, and with more overt racism and religious bigotry here too. It's important to light the Hanukkah candles to celebrate the miracle of hope when all seems lost, to affirm the right of Jewish people to exist, to dedicate ourselves to liberation from oppression, and to lift up the work of faith to create peace wherever it takes place. More than 6 years ago, we started on the most important journey this congregation has ever taken. We were coming up on our 60th anniversary as a congregation. Most mainline churches were shrinking, even as we knew that we would grow if only we had more space. We also knew that we have a much greater impact on our local community than our size alone would suggest, and we wanted to do even more. And we knew that we were called to respond to the fraying fabric of our society and the urgent need for racial justice and a livable earth. So with the help of the Unitarian Universalist Association Southern Region, we realized that to be able to figure out what we needed to do, we first needed to figure out who we are. There were some simple yet profound questions we had to answer. What do we value most? How do we act on those values? Where do those actions take us? And amidst those values and actions, how are we going to be together? So in June 2017, we met with Kathy McGowan of the Southern Region and she led us in a workshop to figure out our core values. We decided that we have 4: wonder, love, service, and generosity. In a second workshop, Kathy helped us to figure out how we act on those values. The way we put it, our mission is to grow in wonder, connect in love, engage in service, and inspire generosity. That sounded good, but we wanted to make sure it really did describe us. So we spent a year trying it on to see if it fit. And in 2018, we officially adopted that naming of our mission. Then it was time to figure out where our mission was taking us. In July 2019, we met again to answer questions such as, what more can we do to help one another grow in wonder? How can we be better at connecting in love with one another and with our neighbors? What else can we do to help more members and friends to engage in service? How can we be a better example to those beyond our walls and inspire generosity in the world? The result was our vision of ourselves for the coming years to live more fully into our mission as a congregation. Not surprisingly, the first part of our vision described our need for better facilities to serve our mission. So after many town halls and cottage meetings, we met in March 2020 to vote on the question of whether our current location could meet that need or whether we would need a new location. We overwhelmingly voted to seek a new property that would allow us to better serve our mission. And at long last, as you know, we are under contract to buy such a property. I urge you to take advantage of one of the upcoming times that our planning committee has arranged for you to visit 326 Tabbs Lane, ask questions and form your own opinions, starting with 2 p.m. this afternoon. Our intention is that every single member visit the property before any vote to finalize the purchase is held. Also, thanks to our planning committee, this has been the first year of our rolling 5-year plan that makes specific the many different pieces of our congregational vision. The first part, as I said, is a new property. The others are congregational growth, social justice, spiritual development, stewardship, staffing, and visibility, each with its own set of objectives and measures to help us make progress on fulfilling our vision to better serve our mission. Now, at the same time as our planning committee has been doing all of this work, our committee on ministry has been helping us to answer one of the other big questions that set us on this journey over 6 years ago. Amidst our values and our mission to act on our values, how are we going to be together? In 2018, after we had officially adopted our mission as growing in wonder, connecting in love, engaging in service, and inspiring generosity, our policy board asked our committee on ministry to guide our development of a congregational covenant, a list of intentions describing who we aspire to be as a faith community, a set of promises about how we intend to treat one another within that community. Given that our fellowship circles have been creating their own covenants for years, our committee on ministry decided to start by helping our other groups and committees to develop covenants too. And we were about to expand that work further when the pandemic disrupted our plans. Then, in June 2021, the Unitarian Universalist Association's Commission on Appraisal released this groundbreaking report, Unlocking the Power of Covenant. This gave new energy to our Committee on Ministry, particularly the report's conclusion. To unlock the power of covenant, The Commission on Appraisal calls for Unitarian Universalist communities to 1. Create covenants, review them regularly, and be open to revising them. 2. Incorporate their covenants in weekly worship services. 3. Use their covenants in committee meetings and in organizational interactions. And 4. Hold an annual Covenant Sunday. It is this last step that will enable us to unlock the power of covenant in our communities, associations, and congregations to build the beloved community. We believe that by doing these things, we all can use the keys of engagement and relationship to unlock the power of covenant. So we decided to make 2022 our year of living covenantally, filling it with services, forums, small group discussions, large group workshops, programs, Facebook posts, eFlame articles, surveys, and more. We talked about the promises we wanted to make to the congregation, as well as the promises we wanted the congregation to make to us. And we took those promises and drafted and redrafted possible covenants. More than 2/3 of the UUFP directly participated in this process. And on December 11th, 2022, we adopted by unanimous vote our new UUFP covenant. This year, we've had many opportunities to reflect on and explore our covenant. After all, a covenant is supposed to be a living document. It holds our community together, and the more we use it, the better it does that. A covenant that gets written down and filed away somewhere doesn't do anyone any good. So we keep it in front of us. Sometimes we read it together, and we empower it to guide our actions. This is an incredible journey that we've been on for the last 6 years. It has truly transformed us as a congregation, giving us a much better understanding of who we are and what matters to us, a much better articulation of our identity and our purpose. And that journey continues in 2024, of course, with the purchase, renovation, and move into our new property, with the fulfillment of other parts of our vision, thanks to our 5-year plan, and with our ongoing engagement to unlock the power of covenant. In 2024, we'll continue to open our doors and hearts to those who are seeking a spiritual home. We'll not only listen to one another with deep compassion, but we'll learn how to better bring kindness into our words and actions too. We'll support one another through an absolutely critical pledge drive, and we'll emphasize our interdependence with the earth in our new church home. We'll continue to focus our justice efforts to make the most difference with the resources we have, showing who we are and what we value as Unitarian Universalists. And we will find new courage to grow as a community, united by love and embodying gentleness, so that everyone may know the good news of beloved community. I'm going to ask you some wondering questions now, and I'll give you a little time after each to reflect. Pam will put each question on the screen as I ask it. I wonder what you value most. I wonder how you have acted on your values. I wonder where those actions are taking you. I wonder how, amidst your values and actions, you were with other people. Today is Covenant Sunday because it's the anniversary of adopting our UUFP covenant last year. It's also the second Sunday in Advent, so we lit the candle of faith on the Advent wreath, and that fits because living into covenant is how we practice our religion, how we keep our faith. And it's the third day of Hanukkah, which is also about keeping the faith, the work of faith to create peace. And that fits because what we call the candle of faith is for some congregations the candle of peace. Everything is connected. So in the spirit of our faith in the possibility of the beloved community, in the hope of peace for all people in our world, our activity today is about reaching out to our Jewish and Muslim neighbors in love. Miss Joanne has printed up these gorgeous cards that feature either the Hebrew word shalom or the Arabic word salam, both of which mean peace. There are actually two activities here. You can color in the front of the card, and we have colored pencils for you to do that. Or you can write a message of peace and love inside the card, and we have some pens for that. Brittany will hand those out if you need one. Or you can do both. You can color the front and you can write something inside. If you are on Zoom, you're welcome to put such a message into the chat and we'll write it into a card for you. You'll have a few minutes to work on coloring and or writing, and you'll be able to continue working on the cards when Miss Joanne invites us into a time of sharing. Please give your cards to us at the end of the service, and we'll send them to either the United Jewish Community of the Virginia Peninsula or to the Islamic Center of Hampton Roads as a sign of religious pluralism and as a declaration of our support. As you continue working on your cards, and to close out our reflection on covenant and faith and peace, we're going to watch a short video message from UUA President, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt.
Greetings and glad tidings, beloveds, as we come together in this season of peace. As people around the world join together in prayer, in hopefulness, in striving and possibility, I bring you love, intention, gratitude, and hope from your Unitarian Universalist Association. I know that these times have been difficult, that we have been holding together this image of peace in the Holy Lands, peace in places that are central to many of us, in our ancestry and in our prayers for humanity. But remember in these times that traditions and peoples across the globe are coming together for renewal, for possibility, for community. For Unitarian Universalists, we lean into the beauty, the goodness that we hold together in common cause. And as we head into the turning of the year, my prayer for you is that this will be a time of family, a time of healing, a time of recommitment and dedication to the things that bring joy, bring justice, bring peace, and bring meaning to our lives. Know that your Unitarian Universalist Association is with you, not only in preparing for all that is to come in 2024, but in gratitude for all that you have done and been in 2023. Glad tidings, beloveds, blessings on your holidays, and we look forward to being with you for all the years to come. Be blessed.